Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cardinal News. This is part one of our last episode, so stick around for some final student questions, teacher interviews, and a stadium update.
Hi, I'm Sophia Bucheri, and I'm a co-president of the Cultural Cuisine Club. And if you're interested, join us to share and learn about different cultures and spread cultural awareness throughout GHS.
Hi, I'm Lily.
And I'm Kate, and we're the captains of the girls' tennis team at GHS. We've had a really successful season so far,
And we're so excited to get the opportunity to play.
we're following all the necessary COVID protocols.
And we're excited for the rest of our season. Thank you.
My name's Anthony Morello. I'm the head football coach at Greenwich High School, and I am class of 2005. Well, obviously, the time that's gone into this, the building and completion of this project has been going on for years, and I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product. I mean, personally, as a Cardinal alumni and being here when the turf first went down and the lights first went up, there were a lot of great memories with the bleachers that we had, and it was time for a change, and I'm looking forward to seeing sort of what this final project holds. Well, the great thing about this stadium, it's not the football stadium, it's Greenwich High School Stadium. So there's going to be so many different sports that are participating up there, and it's going to have an impact to us personally at halftime, not having to run down to the high school all the way down. We only have 15 minutes for halftime, so to be able to go into a team room underneath the stadium is a huge advantage to us and to the opponent that we play that week. To have elevator access for wheelchair accessibility is huge. It allows everybody in town or around town to see the game and experience the joy of sports and high school sports.
I think it is really exciting that we have the new stadium being built. I think it'll be awesome to have a lot of our fans be able to come and have this great new stadium and stands in particular. It'll match our awesome new scoreboard, and hopefully we can get even more of the student body out at these games too. I think the biggest thing is probably being able to have the team room and even bathrooms up at the stadium. I think the team room will be especially helpful on days when we play in extreme weather, when it's either very hot or raining or very cold, to be able to have timeouts or halftime in those and give the team a break from the weather in particular are kind of the things we're looking forward to the most.
I think what I'm looking most forward to with our new stadium is that it'll be a fair representation of the high quality of athletics that Greenwich has and the rich tradition we have. I think the new stadium will impact our team in that we'll be able to stay up during the games, not need to come down during halftime. We'll be able to actually host a large crowd for some of our larger games with more parking and more handicap accessibility. And just overall, it'll be a very exciting time for sports.
Hello, I'm Mr. Mayo, the broadcast journalism as well as the video production teacher here at GHS. Broadcast journalism is a student-led course in which we produce monthly episodes on the news at Greenwich High School and also learn the ins and outs of media production. This course meets 6 times a cycle. All the equipment in the video production classroom is available for the broadcast journalism students to use. There's also an honors option that allows quarterly outside of school projects to be proposed and created. They are a great opportunity for students to specifically do something of their interest and earn honors credit.
I've enjoyed learning about things I would never have learned without taking this class, such as how to edit properly, how to properly film news segments, and how to use various cameras and equipment. I've also been able to interact with many people that I would not have had the chance to work with without taking this course.
I believe that students should take this course if they have any interest in news, reporting, video production, or want to explore different potential career paths. Additionally, if you do have an interest in this type of work for a major in college, going in with prior experience will give you a significant advantage over others from areas who aren't as fortunate to have the opportunities we have at GHS.
My favorite part of broadcast is the class structure. You are able to pick and choose what you want to create. Mr. Mayo is always open to new ideas and suggestions to improving or altering the class.
What product or service is more overpriced than it should be?
Oh, definitely Lululemon.
Lululemon.
Oh yeah. I get their pants sometimes, maybe the short shorts.
Short shorts?
Serious. I'm being dead serious. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing getting caught sometimes, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
What's that place on the Ave?
Lululemon or Brandy something.
Yeah, Brandy Melville.
Yeah.
If you had a restaurant, what kind of food would you serve?
Tacos.
Probably like salads. Ooh. Maybe Italian.
Hispanic food.
Pizza.
Italian food, 100%.
Probably Italian or like sushi.
Italian.
I don't know. I like to eat food, so everything.
Italian. Oh, Italian. Okay, so if animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
Cats. Realistically, probably a leopard.
A lion.
A chicken. A rat. A rhinoceros.
A honey badger.
They're mean. They're like really mean. They're like feisty.
Probably a cow.
Which do you prefer, Dunkin' or Starbucks? I know you have Starbucks right there, so.
Starbucks.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a vanilla creme.
Is that your go-to?
Typically it's iced coffee, but I don't know. I thought.
Yeah.
Really Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Dunkin'. Starbucks.
What about you?
Dunkin'.
Yeah, what?
All day. Dunkin'. All day.
Dunkin' puts way too much sugar.
Starbucks, they have no flavor.
They have more options though. Dunkin's just like the Charlie, like that's nasty.
Dunkin'. Starbucks.
Dunkin'.
My name is Andy Bramonti. I am the science research teacher here at Greenwich High School. Sometimes I sign off as director because it sounds nice, but that's when I'm trying to get things for free from people outside the school. Yeah, I'm the only one that does it, so I direct, I teach, I mentor, I do it all, and it's kind of it's definitely an interesting topic. Well, this is a second career for me. I've done many things. When I got out of, when I got out of college, I was a chem major, and I worked as a flavor chemist. But anyway, went back to get my master's degree. I went to law school for a semester. Figured out I didn't like that. But I ended up getting my master's in chem and working for instrumentation companies. I don't really measure student success by what science fair they've won, or how much money they've won. You're free to visit. I've got the wall covered with things that kids have won, and I've got kids in popular mechanics, popular science, yada yada yada. Kids that have won $50,000, $100,000, and that's all cool. But sometimes science doesn't really get to the result that you want. And it's more about the perseverance. It's more about the process and the learning that takes place. So, you could be a very successful student in my eyes if you build those skills, yet maybe you don't go to a fair because it just didn't fall right for you. And that's very difficult for the kids to, in their own minds, that's how they measure success. And it takes a lot of time to really reverse that way of thinking. And people always ask, well, why are your kids so successful? And I think part of it is, you're giving a student the opportunity to put their own spin on things, and you're giving a teenage mind without adults think they know everything. They think they know how things should work, and they have all these biases that they've gained through their life. Well, teenager doesn't have that. They basically see things sometimes for what they really are. And so to see that opportunity and to see that growth into actually ideas that can make a difference, and then to make that personal connection, that's it in a nutshell. It's just so cool. This particular year, in the last few years, I started teaching the ESL chemistry class. And, I look at that as a very unique opportunity because, frankly, I was brought up in New York City in a very diverse environment. And that's who I am, and so to teach that class, it gives me I feel like I have the right perspective for it. And the reason I mention it is, a couple of years ago, I said to a couple of kids, I always probe the class. Anybody really into science here? Other than the fact that you got to take chemistry, and there was a young man that was from Guatemala. I don't know if you've heard of Edgar. He's kind of, and so he says to me, yeah, I've got, I'm really into this coffee problem. I'll shorten the story, but he says, I'd really like to do something about it. And that particular year, he was watching Raina Jane, who was another amazing student working to save the bees. He was watching her buzz around, and no pun intended. And long story short is, Edgar just started working before he even started in the class and did some amazing stuff. And you know what? I have to put that right up there because here's a kid that really was, I think of myself and how I traveled to Japan, or I went to Europe. The first time I went to Germany, somebody lead me around, take me where I need to eat before I got acclimated. And I can't imagine being thrust into a culture and having to go to school, having to talk the talk, walk the walk, you know what I mean? Not only that, but then to be able to pivot so quickly and actually make a difference and to refocus on something that has already been life-changing for you in the negative and turn it into a positive. So having had the opportunity to help him through that, I still get choked up when I think about it. Yeah. So there's, there's so many successes, and all the kids are individuals, and there's a story for everybody. But that one was pretty cool.
My name is Christina Sapienza. I used to be Miss Fios. I just got married this past year. I am a Clark House school counselor.
Hi, I'm Colleen Mayo. I'm one of the counselors in Cantor House.
I'm Amanda Finn. I am the social worker in Cantor House and a graduate of the class of 2002.
I'm Mr. Kovac. I teach here in Bella House. I'm the program associate and learning facilitator for social studies. And I teach numerous classes, including AVID, AP Psychology, and Global Studies.
Senior night was probably one of my favorites, or SRO. Senior night, the night after graduation, was a lot of fun. Also, just spending time with my friends in the student center was always a great time.
There was always a fun event at the end of the year. So freshman year, Six Flags, sophomore year, sophomore cruise, and then the proms, junior and senior year. I feel like during my time, SRO was a huge thing. So I know now it doesn't seem to be as well attended, but in our years, it was a very big deal, and most or the majority of the class did participate, which was fun.
One of my favorite memories was actually participating in SRO.
For me, one of my greatest memories would be stepping up to the podium at graduation in 2005 and shaking the hand of Claude Frank, who was the Sheldon housemaster, and just the culmination of a high school career.
So my favorite memory was SRO. I think that obviously as a culminating experience for our class was really important to bring us together, to have a sense of community within such a large grade, and have that experience together was really fun.
SRO is my favorite as well, and I think something that Ms. Baker and I loved with our class was that we took ownership over this thing. We got to build it from scratch. The seniors came together at the very, the last semester together before leaving, and got to share in this really special moment.
My favorite memory from Greenwich High School was casino night. We had it when we were graduating seniors. We'd come back after the graduation, and it was pretty much everybody in the class that came, and they had all the casino games like poker, 20 blackjack, and it was a lot of music, a lot of fun, and it was great to see everybody like one last time before everybody went off to college.
Kind of an interest, like a weird thing to call my favorite memory, but on the day of 9/11, a couple of buddies of mine and I grabbed a giant pretzel tub, and we collected money and collected donations right away on that first day. And we didn't really have a plan as to what we were going to do with those things, but we knew that people would need support, and I think that was just a great tribute to how well the Greenwich community comes together.
I have many, many favorite memories from Greenwich High School, from graduating to participating in SRO, from going from the old high school, which is now the town hall, to this new building. I still call it the new high school, but it opened in 1970, so it's really not that new anymore. But great memories, especially at the old building when the cafeteria was so overcrowded that we all went onto the avenue to grab lunch. So I have a lot of good memories, and one of the reasons that I wanted to come back to this school was because of those memories.
That is a tough one. I was involved with music for all 4 years of high school, so Mr. Taylor is definitely one of them. But then for academics, I would probably say Mr. Block. He was an AP Psych teacher. He doesn't teach her anymore.
One of my favorite teachers actually was someone named Mr. Atchison. I had for a course called Contemporary America, and certainly really kind of perked my interest in social studies and history, and it was a really good memory.
One of the most impactful teachers that I had when I was here was Maria Buono, who is still teaching here today, and Christina Shaw and Steve Swidler. When I was a freshman here, I made some poor choices, and they were there for me, and they supported me, and they pointed me in the right direction and helped mold me and shape me into who I am today. So those are some teachers here that I hold in the highest regard, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for.
So it's hard to pick one favorite teacher, but a teacher that I had an incredible mentorship relationship with was Ms. Chauvin, the cooking teacher, and she was also the class advisor for me when I was in student government, and someone I'm still very close with and call on as a confidant and mentor.
I think I've had some really great English teachers, and as an English teacher, I had Miss Smith, I had Mr. McGeary, amongst several others. So I think those have been some really influential teachers at my experience in the high school.
I had many favorite teachers when I was here at Greenwich High School. Quite a few of them are still here at Greenwich High School. Miss Barry, who's now a house administrator. Mr. Kovac actually was my teacher. He actually was my camp counselor, was at Camp Carefree too, which was pretty cool. So I got to see him in two different lights. Once when he was probably a teenager, and then once when he was probably in his late 20s. And then now I'm a colleague of his, which was great. Came full circle. I would say Mr. Lyon had a pretty cool impact with his forensic science classes and human biology classes. Those were great. Ms. Chauvin down here in Cardinal Cooks was great as well.
Favorite teacher at Greenwich High School was Mr. Perkins, my chemistry teacher, who I still keep in touch with.
Favorite teacher, hands down, was Mr. Mike Batchelor, who was my sophomore honors 213 teacher. And what was great about him is he was a very kind of traditional teacher, a lot of lecture, but he was a history machine. And I think that's kind of why I do what I do today. I have him to thank in a lot of ways.
Mr. Lowe, that many kids might know, Coach Lowe of the boys swimming team, he was actually my math teacher as a senior, and he, was such a great math teacher, really explained things clearly, set a high standard for his kids, and he was just one of those teachers that I really wanted to work hard for.
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer. I had many, many favorite teachers. One of my favorite teachers, though, was the teacher who started the electronic music program here at Greenwich High School, Mrs. Ann Meduno. Miss Meduno was amazing. She was so amazing. She was so easy to have as a teacher. She was able to get her subject matter across in such a delightful way. And she's still working, Miss Medunia, around Connecticut, teaching other school districts how to put their electronic music class into their course of study. So, Miss Medunia, this is for you. What a great teacher.
Hey, my name is Benjamin Miller. I'm the president of the Animation Club. I joined in 2017, but I became president in 2019. It's been a fun experience. I'd do it again, you know. Learned a lot about leadership, like leading a community, people, even a small group of people. Was something I enjoyed. I'd do it again if I could. Animation Club, we go over different techniques. We go over the different software you use. We discuss different shows. And we share the drawings we made that week, different art we made. You know, nothing is left out. I try to keep this sense of inclusivity, and I really turn people away who want to join. And anyone can join, you know, as long as they're engaged, they learn. I want people to come away from it having learned something, you know. I don't mind people hang out and draw, that's cool, but I want them to learn at least something. I feel like some of our club members, some of them are actually really talented. I'm proud of what they accomplished. You know, I'm actually really impressed. They actually went places. They went to good art schools. I'm still starting out myself. And, you know, even I'm learning from them.
Thank you for watching part 1 of our last episode. Stick around for part 2.